Hey YouTubers, this is Bob Hickman. Why don't you pull up a chair here? Let's talk a little while. You know, a lot of you have been contacting me here on YouTube and on Facebook and on Instagram. And I'm on Instagram, by the way, and I'll put the link below if you want to come over there and see me as well. But a lot of you have been contacting me and saying how sad you are about Joan Rivers passing. And I have to tell you, I too am very sad today. You know, to have to come here and say the beloved comedian Joan Rivers has left us. You know, some of you are saying, "Say, Bob, you know, it makes me so sad because she made me laugh so much." I understand that. She made me laugh too. I mean, you know, I'll be the first to admit sometimes I thought she was a little on the edge. But that was Joan's style. She said one time, she said, "I became famous for saying what everybody's thinking, but nobody will dare to say." And I think she's absolutely right about that. Yeah, she may have kind of crossed that line a little bit. But really, the people who were, you know, at the far end of her vitriolic humor, most of them knew she really didn't mean it. She just wanted to play. And that's what I like. She was zany. She was fun, a little crazy. And I think the world today has really lost a great soul. You know, the thing that I like about Joan Rivers is not only did she make you laugh, she had power of spirit. I don't know if any of you have ever read any of her books. She wrote a number of kind of biographical novels, autobiographical novels about her life and her journey in show business. And I got to tell you, what I've read in a lot of her books, and the thing that I learned was that this lady has an indomitable spirit. You know, she didn't grow up from a big wealthy family. She grew up kind of poor, kind of on the wrong side of the tracks. But she had a spunk for survival, a zeal. She was like, "I'm not going to give up." And it's funny because she ended up, from what she says in comedy, kind of by accident. You know, somebody kind of dared her to go to a comedy club, and she saw that she could win a prize and make more money doing comedy than she could working. So she just said, "Well, I'll give it a try," and did it kind of as on a lark. And she ended up getting successful at it. And I like that because, you know, when life threw Joan, you know, lemons, she made lemonade. And that's what I like about her. She came up during a time when comedy was very much a man's world, was very dominated by men, and the show business community was very male-oriented, male-dominated. And she was many times kind of rejected, pushed out, and excluded. But rather than becoming bitter and just, you know, going away, she said, "I'm going to do it, my thing. I don't care what anybody says." And that's what I like about her. And I think that's what I'll remember the most, is that when she faced tough times, she didn't give up. And that makes her a hero in my eyes. And so many of you read and said, "Thank you, Bob, I'm so upset. Robin Williams died. Now we've lost Joan Rivers." You know, and yes, this is sad. I mean, to lose two great stars who have brought us all so much joy in such a short time, it's hard, and we really don't understand it. From an emotional place, even I'm devastated. You know, from a metaphysical place, you know what I see is I see souls who took their exit points. You know, Joan, when she had her stroke, at that point, I believe, it's my belief, that she crossed actually at that point to the light, and she got to see her beloved husband, who's predeceased her, and she got to meet God. And when you go into that light, you get to understand everything and see how it all fits together. You also get to make a choice whether to stay in the light or come back. And I think Joan realized that had she come back, her life would have been so incapacitated, she would not have been able to do what she loved to do, which was to make people laugh. From what I've heard, people have said that had she survived it, she would have pretty much been a vegetable with no real brain function and, you know, basically on a feeding tube. And I can tell you, from what I know of Joan Rivers, that just wouldn't work. So, when she came to that exit point on her spiritual chart, she took it. Now, I know that makes so many of us sad to not have her with us. But now we've got a friend over in the light. And Joan would be the first to tell you how beautiful it is over there. And now she's back at peace, and she's with her beloved husband. And she's making people in heaven laugh now. So the people in heaven, they just got a new star come over. They're the ones celebrating. So let's try, even though it's hard, and I know it's hard right now, let's try to remember the things that we loved about her. Let's remember her sense of crazy humor, her zany offbeatness. I'm an Aquarius. I totally get the offbeat, crazy side. Totally get it. Let's remember the joy she brought. Let's remember her wonderful sense of fashion. Let's remember her spirit. Let's remember how she made people inspired. Some of you have written me over on Instagram. You said, Joan Rivers' example of coming through tough times gave you courage to get through your tough times. And I think there's a lot of wisdom in that. And so if you're struggling now, if you feel like your life is just hitting a wall and you don't feel inspired, go get one of Joan's books. Any of them are good. I don't care which one. I think they're all good. I can't remember all the titles now, but you just look it up. You'll find it. Her books will help you to understand her journey. Because she wasn't just a lady who just cracked jokes. There was a lot more to her, a very deep part. Do you know that Joan actually believed in psychics? And when her husband crossed, she even employed the services of a medium. She was open to spiritual truth. She came from a Jewish background and very much loved her Jewish faith. But she had a big enough vision to embrace other people's truths as well. And I think that's a beautiful thing, and speaks to the wonderfulness of her soul. So anyways, guys, I just want to come here and let you know I'm with you. I know a lot of you are grieving. I'm grieving too. I wore black today because just to honor and respect her. And I feel like, the light has gone out a little bit in the world. But if we want to be true to Joan, because we all adore her, let's not stay in that place of darkness. But let's let that spark of joy that she put in our heart grow now, and let it blossom, and let us work on bringing joy to others. Take her example as strength and start to live again. We're all going to make it through this, and Psychic Bob is with you. And I do predict, strange as it may sound, a lot of wonderful things are going to start happening all over the earth now, because Joan Rivers was part of our world, and because her example has uplifted, entertained, and inspired so many. Guys, listen, I'm with you. Let's all remember Joan. Let's send prayers of light to her on her journey. I know she's already over there, but even people in the spirit world can be benefited by our prayers. So let's send some light and blessing to her on her new voyage there to the light. And let's also remember her beloved family, her daughter, Melissa, and her grandson. They're suffering right now. They're grieving. So let's hold them up in memory, thought, and prayer. And Melissa, if you see this, God bless you, darling. You're doing wonderfully. You handled everything beautifully. And your mom's in the light. She's at peace. And Melissa, I'll tell you, you're going to be hearing from her soon, because Joan isn't going to stay silent. You'll be getting a message from her very soon. God bless you all. Thanks for being here, and let's remember Joan and her family. Blessings to you all.